I think that like also going back to our instincts, our intuition, like if we really want to solve them, we'll find the right people. But you're right. It has become a little bit tricky and complicated these days because the good doctors, the functional naturopaths, or even a OB that's really good, they don't spend the time with you to find out what's going on in your life. So I've been having so much fun just being able to get people back on track, with some in-depth blood work. The gut is so crucial because like I said earlier, it's where our instincts are. It's where our gut intuition is. We
women know
we do. And we know what's right for us and what's not right for us.
Welcome back to the next episode of the Flexible Neurotic podcast. I'm Dr. Sarah Milken, the Flexible Neurotic. Today, on this Midlife podcast, where we talk about all the Uggs and fabulosities of midlife, I have an amazing guest. Wait till you see her. I know you're going to know her from Instagram. She is a holistic nutritionist, has a star-studded celebrity clientele, and just normal people like me. And she is basically a cleanse expert, transformational expert, wellness expert, and we're going to get into it. I'm kind of calling this episode an Ask Her Anything about midlife health tools and all the things that we see on Instagram and we're like, oh, I should try that. I want to know about that. Those are the questions I'm asking today. Today, I have Elissa Goodman. Say hi.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So good.
I was thinking about this because wasn't I one of your first?
Yes, you were one of my first guests.
It was so fun then.
On Zoom. And
over COVID.
I know, over COVID.
So thank you for having me back.
Oh my God. We've been like trying to put this all together. You're a very busy woman.
Very busy woman.
Yes.
Lots going on in my life.
My God. Well, we can get into that as deeply or undeeply as you want to. But I think I want to start with the fact that so many of us midlife women are being flooded with information on social media, all over the place. Do the infrared sauna, stand on your head, go to fucking yoga, sweat your balls off, jump in a cold plunge, all of these things. And sometimes it feels like too many things and too much information. And so today I kind of wanted to say, let's take an hour and break down kind of like your top 10 of 10,000 things that in your experience have really helped midlife women live their optimal lives. Because obviously there's no perfect, but I think there are things that in your experience, clinical experience and expertise that could really help women who are like, I can't do 450 things, but maybe I could do 10, or maybe I could start with one, whatever that is.
Right.
So I guess the first question I have is, what does wellness mean? I know you have a very specific definition of it.
I do. That's a great question because we are flooded with TikTok and Instagram and just everything that's going on these days. Wellness has exploded and it's overkill and it's like overwhelming and people don't know where to start, so they don't start.
Right. Oh, no. It's like analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
You're like,
So I think wellness is starting, somewhere. And I think it really is, I feel like finding that peace inside yourself and that calm and that place where you honor who you are and you do want to feel good in your life. You do want to thrive. You do want to age and have energy. And to me, that is what it's all about. And there are simple things that we'll get into of how to do that. But I think it is really about, do you want to thrive? Do you want to be energetic as you age? Do you believe that as you age, you're not going to have those things? You're going to have menopause symptoms. You're going to have weight gain. You're going to have no sleep, like anxiety, whatever it is that we talk about and complain about, high blood sugar or cholesterol or, like we don't have to have that as we age. And that's what I consider wellness.
Yeah. I mean, and I also love how you sort of frame it in a lot of your Instagram posts and what you write as kind of finding what works for you, and what might work for someone else might not work for the next person. So for example, like you're the juicing queen. Right. Someone else might be like, I can't eat vegetables because my stomach hurts or whatever. Yeah. But in your expertise, you're able to say, okay, well, if that doesn't work for you, then like, let's try this.
Yes.
And it's not just very kind of cut and dry, like you have to cleanse with the juices.
Right. Or one size fits all.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
When I talk to my clients or even friends, I do ask them a ton of questions, what's going on in your life? How are you feeling? Are you stressed? Are you sleeping well? And it does come down to a lot of, emotional, mental capacity as what they will do with food or hydration or exercise, So I do try to find out, or digestion. When we're stressed, our digestion shuts down. When we're not sleeping well, our digestion doesn't work well, So that's a huge thing, Sarah, in terms of like what they're going to be able to eat and what they can't eat, and finding out like what their life has been like, because we hold all this stress in our gut. That gut is huge. It's our instincts. It's our intuition. I know. Right?
And I don't think a lot of people quite understand that direct connection between gut and mental health, gut and everything. And so I would love for you to kind of just give us the highlight of that. Not to say that you could answer all the questions about it, but I think it is something that is highly overlooked.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I'm ready for the poop test, that GI mapping thing, and my whole family's going to do it.
That thing.
I mean, wait till those shit boxes show up and I'm handing them to my kids. It's going to be epic.
They're going to hate you.
Hey, they already do, because I'm like, we're doing blood tests today, And everyone's like, why are you doing that? Right. Your kids are 20 and 17. I'm like, they're like mini adults. They have issues. My son eats more sushi than I could even tell you.
Right.
And like his mercury's high. So now I have to deal with that. So there are things that happen in teenagers. It's not just like you're 50 and you're fucked. Yeah. It's like, teenagers have stuff too.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've been dealing with a lot of teenagers and young adults, and it is so much fun to get
for you, because they're not your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, come to my house. It's like a shit show.
I did do it with my daughters, but they didn't listen.
Yeah.
Okay, now they are very interested.
They probably think you're like a queen. They're like, this bitch is my mom. I'm like, whoa.
But the friends' kids and all of that, I'm finding hormone imbalances. I'm finding when they do a GI map, which nobody likes to do, by the way, that I'm finding major candida or just bacterial or fungal or viral issues in their gut, No wonder things aren't working well. But I'm also doing blood work on a lot of them as well. I'm doing in-depth blood work that is not expensive and basically covering all the bases, all their hormones, all their heavy metals, all their metabolic markers, their thyroid. I can tell if someone has like parasites. I can tell if they have viral or bacterial fungal issues by their monocytes or lymphocytes or in their blood. So I've been having so much fun just being able to get people back on track, with some in-depth blood work. The gut is so crucial because, like I said earlier, it's where our instincts are. It's where our gut intuition is.
Women know shit.
We do. And we know what's right for us and what's not right for us. So every client I talk to is like, you've got to tune into your gut. If I'm going to recommend, like, let's say this probiotic to you, or a juice, okay? Like if you take it and you don't feel good and your gut is telling you, I don't really want to do that, or I don't want to juice, like you're saying, too much effort, too much energy. You're not going to do it. It's not going to work for you. So the gut is so important, and what's happened is we have had really shitty food. We have had fungal, viral, bacterial infections in our gut. We have had too much sugar. So we have too much candida, so to speak. We have parasites.
I'm probably like a candida over.
I know. I am too.
Do
even though I'm so clean, I still have some high candida from all the years of eating sugar and all of that.
It's crazy that it can accumulate over such a long period of time. It's like you talk about like kids who have taken Accutane when they're younger or tons of antibiotics. Like a lot of that stuff comes up later and they're things that take so long to undo.
That's a perfect example. every Accutane person that I have had in my practice has major digestive issues.
Yeah, I have 2 kids with Accutane, who
It
found
strips
it.
all your
Yeah.
microbiome. Yeah, and also birth control strips it, also over-the-counter meds. So it has synthetic Tylenol, Advil, thyroid medication, like even those strip your microbiome because they're synthetic medications. So we really got to work on, restructuring, rebuilding, refilling our microbiome with beneficial bacteria, food bacteria, supplements that work for you.
I'm not eating sauerkraut.
Yeah, so you don't have to. But there is a drink that I just discovered that is kind of cool.
I was like, what's your simple elixir?
Yeah. So it's called Kefir Labs. It's sold everywhere. In one bottle, I think it's 8 ounces, it's 100 trillion beneficial bacteria. So it's I
how
have my
much are you
clients
supposed to drink
2
a day?
ounces a day.
Oh, I could do
Yeah,
that.
you
I
do
could
a shot.
do a shot.
Yeah. Instead of take a pill.
I'm not like fermenting sauerkraut
Right.
and doing like science projects, and
Right.
it's like ugh.
I know kimchi, sauerkraut.
No,
It's right.
I mean, I'll come to your house if it's like prepared by like a
Right,
chef and
right.
an amazing meal. But like to have a bowl of sauerkraut in my fridge, no, thank you.
And we're also not doing enough probiotics because people are taking 10 billion or 20 billion. Honestly, all my clients are on 100 billion or more, 200 billion, 300 billion. I know that sounds like a lot, but we need that because we don't absorb all of it, and we're so depleted. And also, I work with a lot of clients, like I try to lower all of their bacteria, viral issues, their pathogen loads in their gut, and then rebuild the microbiome because we all have that going on as well. So it's important to kind of do a little bit of both and find out what is going on. I can usually tell when I talk to somebody what kind of issues they have, whether it's bathroom issues or diarrhea or constipation
You said, I don't know if you said it on a podcast or an Instagram post where you're like, to poop once a day, you're still constipated. I was like, I can barely do that.
I
like,
know.
what are
You
you
probably
talking
hated
about?
me.
Yeah, but my husband shits like 3 times a day. It's so annoying.
I know.
And he doesn't even like take anything special. It's like, I feel like guys, it's just easier. I don't know.
Guys do have sometimes.
He's gonna really love me sharing that.
A little easier to like lose weight, a little easier. Yeah. So we're supposed to poop multiple times a day after we eat. We're supposed to have food go in and go out. But we have food sitting in our system for years. It ferments, it hangs out in there. That's what causes all kinds of issues, So yes, we are supposed to eliminate.
So what are your thoughts on colonics?
I love them.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Some people overdo them. That's another thing that's happening these days. We were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Infrared, colonics, hyperbaric chambers.
So I mean, I know that this is not like a medical podcast, but your average client who's open to that, what would a colonic schedule look like? Well, first of all, can you tell people what colonics are? Or I can do the gross description, but not the medical one like yours.
Right. So it's not really that medical. You stick a tube up your ass
and you vacuum your shit out.
Vacuum your shit out. It's really good. When I was diagnosed with cancer at 32, I dove into all the LA things that were happening, and that was one of them. And I did colonics once a week. I mean, it was not fun. They're not that pretty. It's not pretty to see what's coming out of you. But it did help me a lot because I was constipated and had a lot of like digestive issues. But I think it's great to do once a week if you're having digestive issues, if there's something going on. If not, once a month or every 3 months.
Addicted to them where your body's like, I can only poop if I'm doing
Sometimes
that.
you can, yeah. So you don't want to do them too much.
Got it.
Yeah. You really, I mean, there's supplements that help you poop, like magnesium at night, but you got to take enough.
I know. And when you read the bottle, it's like, take 2. And I'm like, dude, I'm taking like 6.
Right. I know. It depends. Yeah. Some people are on 1,000 milligrams.
Yeah.
So it just depends on, also there's probably some other stuff going on in there than why you are not,
Sure.
So, I mean, I know when I was hypothyroidism, and a lot of my clients who are are constipated because it's one of the symptoms, one of the major symptoms, So it really is, there's other things to take as well, making sure you're getting enough fiber, which is, we don't really talk about.
Fiber is so annoying.
I know.
I mean, so annoying.
Just in terms of like getting it in your diet.
Because you're just thinking about like, okay, well, like even like the little supplements or the crackers, you're like, okay, that's 4 grams and I'm supposed to be at 30. Like this is going to take me all day to get there.
Yeah.
Then I have to deal with the 100 and whatever grams of protein. It's like a full-time job.
It is a full-time job. I know.
You know, the thing I did like knowing was that an avocado was like half of your daily requirement for
huge.
fiber.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to focus in on that because I feel like it's a one.
Yeah.
It's half the battle.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are simple foods to add in, you know, chia seeds, 2 tablespoons or 10 grams. You could throw in some water, you know, or throw in your juice. You know, I sometimes do that. The avocado, half of avocado is 9.5.
Yeah.
It's like crazy high. A cup of raspberries is 8.4 grams, you know. Beans, like half a cup is, I think, 9.5 grams. So you can get there if you're a little bit plant forward, you know, in terms of like,
I love that term. Tell us about this term.
Plant forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it's really focusing on getting enough plants into your diet and complex carbs like legumes and beans and, you know, the cleanses that I do now. I have 4 of them.
I know, they're amazing.
That I send out. But I'm just trying to teach people. I'm an animal protein eater, but I'm just trying to teach people.
Some steak.
Same. I had a burger last night.
I mean, sign me up.
Grass-fed burger that was delicious.
Where'd you have that?
At the Soho House.
Oh, I was like, it's not that easy to find grass-fed.
Yeah, I know.
And Burger Lounge says it's grass-fed, and I'm
Not
like,
sure.
is it? I don't know.
You know, I just feel like I'm a middle of the road girl. Like I love food. I love eating, you know, and so, but the cleanses are just really trying to train people to get more vegetables in their diet. I want people to get 8 to 10 cups. So just to tell you how easy that can be is you said earlier, I'm a juicer. I've been juicing since I had cancer at 32. So I'll put in just celery, cucumber, lemon, ginger, parsley, cilantro, and spinach into a blender. And I'm getting 5 cups right there.
Okay, so let's talk about the blender for a quick sec. So you said that before we started recording, you said you switched to a blender.
Yes.
And it used to be
a juicer.
And I remember it was like a special juicer, Breville something or other, whatever. But this is different because now you're saying that the way you're doing it now is adding more fiber.
Yeah.
So tell us like how you discovered that and what.
It was just random. My juicer kept breaking and I got frustrated, you know, and then threw it into the blender because I was like, you know, I want to have a juice and put a little water in with these veggies and then realized, wow, I kind of am missing out with the fiber part too, because it is hard to like figure out how to get enough fiber and to go to the bathroom multiple times a day. So it was just delicious and it filled me up more. It satiated me. Now most clients are like actually doing that. It's so easy. Cleaning a blender can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I
just leave it for my husband because he's OCD.
Or a juicer. A juicer. Blender is easy. Right. A blender is easy. Just throw, you know, that's easy. So I don't know. I felt really good and satiated with the blended drinks now. And some of my clients will throw in like 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds into the blended green drink and they'll get 10 grams of protein and they'll be getting greens.
This full bloated mess?
Nope.
No.
Not with hemp seeds.
And not farty?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all. No, it's wild. It just feels good.
So before you would put the cucumber, the celery in, well, not the celery, but you would maybe the machine would take the skin off and all of that.
Yeah. Now
you're just throwing it in everything.
Everything.
Wow.
Everything. It's really fun.
So what juice did you have this morning?
So I had cucumber, celery, lemon, ginger, and parsley. So also parsley, cilantro are incredible things for heavy metal detoxing. I'll just say that, like a lot of my heavy metals that I test, we talked about that a little earlier with your son, mercury, arsenic are coming up like crazy. So that is just doing a juice a day, 16 ounces in the morning is going to help them deplete their mercury and arsenic
That's good because he's starting that tomorrow after this conversation.
But there's so many easy things to do these aren't expensive. It's not going and you were saying earlier to the hyperbaric chamber or the cold plunge or, you know, it's like first we gotta stay major hydrated. We're so dehydrated society, 2 to 3% dehydration, our brain will not work. So we won't go to the bathroom. So we gotta stay fully hydrated. A lot of people like hydrating powders. They're huge these days. A lot of my friends
have every brand.
You have every brand, Element, Ultima,
All of them.
All of them. I'm an Ultima fan. I don't know why. I just love it.
I like it too because it tastes the most lemonade.
Yeah. Right, same.
It does.
I just dilute it and drink 2 of those a day.
And then do you add salt to it?
No, because it has chloride in it already. It just doesn't have as much as the other ones do. And that is incredible for hydration. Like I just traveled and I didn't get jet lag at all from the Ultima. It's
Wow.
wild.
So are you just drinking 1 packet a day?
I'm doing two.
Got it.
Also, it helps you take your supplements because, like, when you're drinking,
oh my God, that's so funny.
water,
I do the same thing. My friends will see me and I have like 40,000 supplements, and they're like, "Why are you drinking that with like pink liquid?" I'm like, "Oh, because it's so much easier to get it down."
It is
Almost like the only one.
Opens up your throat or something. It does something
it's
crazy.
weird.
I know. And then I can take all my supplements. I don't have to worry
And
about
I do it with the straw too, and it's like boom, boom, boom. And she's like, "How are you doing that?"
Right. So the hydration is crucial. Women should get 96 ounces. Men could need about 120. We're not getting that.
No
at all.
chance.
But we can count the juices. We can count hydrating things like, fruit and things in there or a smoothie. That's part of hydration, So water isn't the only thing, but that's huge. I think the juicing still, we talked about this years ago, beginning of your podcast. I still think it has given me life, and vibrancy, and it helps my skin and helps me go to the bathroom and it's not expensive.
Can we tell everyone how old you are?
64.
I mean, holy fuck. I don't understand. Like,
it feels really cool to say
you
that.
haven't had like work done.
No.
Like I
Not yet.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it just
I'd like
doesn't
to.
even seem plausible.
I just feel, my diet, my lifestyle, just really digging in and figuring out what works for me. And I do love life. I do love helping people. I love giving back. I love what I do. And also I love people, so I just feel like life is incredible. I'm a happy girl. Like, wasn't always happy.
You weren't always.
I wasn't always.
Because I remember
No.
you talking about when you first got the diagnosis and you went to the radiologist. He said, "Are you happy?" And you were like, "No."
Most of my life, I haven't been happy. I got happy at 58. So I'll be honest with that. Like,
that's such an amazing thing to say for our listeners right now, because that just shows you that it's never too late. And I think a lot of times in this age range, when our hormones are starting to get wonky, we start to believe, like, is this my new normal? Like feeling a little fluish, a little tired, a little cranky. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I guess it really doesn't have to be our new normal. But it's so hard to find the right resources and the right people to help us solve those problems. Yeah.
I think that, like, also going back to our instincts, our intuition, like, if we really want to solve them, we'll find the right people. But you're right. It has become a little bit tricky and complicated these days because the good doctors, the functional naturopaths, or even an OB that's really good, or a general practitioner that's good, they don't spend the time with you to find out what's going on in your life, what is not working and what's working, And mostly I talk to my clients and find out what's not working and try to kind of help them, like, figure out how can we get you past those places that aren't working. There was a lot not working for me, many, many years, so I just was so dedicated at wanting to feel better and feel energized and just I never thought of being a spokesperson for older women, like going into their 60s or late 50s, but I just feel so lucky to be able to do that. I think that, there are people out there that can help us. And I think we can find them. We're at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think, like we were talking about before we started recording, I think sometimes the accessibility piece is hard.
Yeah.
Because doctors are busy and they give you a medication or a supplement, but they don't have time to text you back and forth and be like, you're like, "Oh, my stomach kind of hurts. Do you think it's from the supplement? Is that normal?" So then you're like, fuck it, you give up on it.
Right.
Or you stay taking it and maybe it wasn't the right thing for you. So it's hard to kind of do that when you don't have major accessibility.
Yeah. So that is why I give my clients major accessibility to me. They text me. They have my phone number. They can email me anytime.
Dangerous.
I know. They've never taken advantage of it.
That's amazing.
It's so wild. It's like email, text, like when they're having an issue, because I'll give them a supplement regime and a food regime. And sometimes it doesn't work. One supplement doesn't work, like text me, tell me that didn't work. So there are 50 million things out there that I could give you that will work. So if I know what's going on personally with you, I can help you with better, in terms of like figuring out exactly what I can give you to work. So I feel like there are more and more of us out there that are willing to do that. And I have a naturopath that I love that is willing to do that, some doctors that I love that are willing to do that, like her, Suzanne Lenz is beautiful at that.
She's coming up again.
Dr. Enigma is, Talib is great with that. I mean, there's some people that you can have some accessibility with. And also nurse practitioner with Dr. Dominic Reed is good. There's definitely some people out there. Yeah,
there are people.
They're few and far between.
But I think especially also with like the menopause hormone situation, there's so many nuances to it.
Right.
And so many I have so many friends who are like, but I don't want to do that because it's not, if you take this, then this happens. You have to be willing to sort of participate in the experiment.
Yeah.
Like no doctor is going to know right off the bat the exact amount of HRT that works for you mixed with the exact amount of progesterone. And then all the other things that get added in and like, should you be on testosterone at the same time and blah, blah, blah. And it's not like it's the doctor's fault, but you have to be willing to be like, okay, well, that scenario didn't work. Now we're on to the next scenario.
Exactly. I mean, I think, the HRT thing is like pivotal, and menopause and like
what are most of your clients doing and who are they seeing?
That's a really great question because I would say most of them are doing HRT. So, and by the way, they're doing the ones that just do maybe two, like estradiol and progesterone and not do testosterone, don't do as well. So really right now, the ones that are doing all three are doing exceptional. And also the ones that are starting slow and kind of building up. So like in the old days, they started higher dosage and they really did not do well. They bloated up and they gained weight and they didn't feel good. Nowadays, people are like, hey, we'll start slow and let's build you up in that way. Also, I'm testing my clients for DHA and pregnenolone. So a lot of that is what supports
that is
your
definitely
hormones.
More nuanced.
Yeah, that is. It is.
Whereas most doctors are not doing that.
Yeah. And that's going to support the hormones you already have and your endocrine system and your thyroid and your adrenals, because that's all affecting your hormones. So I absolutely love that, in terms of like they're on a hormone replacement, but also we're giving them a little maybe pregnenolone and HRT because they're so low.
What does pregnenolone do?
It helps support your whole endocrine system, your thyroid, your adrenals, your estradiol, your testosterone, your progesterone. DHA just helps support your estradiol and your testosterone.
But isn't DHEA the sort of precursor to testosterone? Like,
yes,
so you need your DHEA at a certain level for testosterone to work?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes you do. You need at 200, give or take.
I'm about to start
at a minimum.
This.
Yeah. And yes, I think pregnenolone might be 175, 185, something like that, depending on the how the blood work's taken. But yeah, we do. And all doctors miss this,
It's crazy.
Yeah. And also all doctors miss like really testing the full thyroid function. They test TSH, but they don't test free T4, T3, reverse
I have it
T3.
all done.
Right.
Because I have a goiter.
Yeah.
And so for me, we just like have had to like manage that. I think since I was about 24. But I take synthetic. I take Synthroid. I know we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's good, if it's bad,
but it works. Does it work for you?
It works.
Yeah. So if it works for you, it's great.
Yeah. But when would you know if it didn't work? Is it the numbers or is it symptoms? What is it?
Symptoms.
Okay.
Yeah. You could see it in the numbers, but if you feel great, like I had a client the other day.
Great's an overstatement.
True. Like, if you feel good, like it depends on.
Like I'm not dying today, but
you're good. But I had a client the other day and she was at 4.53, let's say, and she feels great. So I'm not going to mess with that. But it's high for her TSH.
Yeah, I feel mine was not.
But yeah, so I'm like, we're not messing with that. We're going to take care of other things. But so it's just really, I think, more symptom related. People are on Synthroid, levothyroxine. They don't feel great. So then they're like, what more can I do? The doctors just keeps upping their Synthroid and levothyroxine.
I feel like I've been on it since I was 24.
Yeah.
And I feel like I monitor it like 3 times a year. And sometimes for 2 years, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
And then sometimes he's like, no, you got to go up, or no, you got to go down. So I don't know what exactly plays into that. I just sort of follow by the rules.
Right. I mean, it could be stress and what's going on in your life too. Sleep, exercise, all those things play a part. What you're eating.
How did we live before? Like my husband, I'm like driving him crazy with all these blood tests. He's like, that people did live before we had all this shit.
Yeah.
Like you're taking this like a little too far.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you can stay sleepy and tired, but I'm living a different life. And so now, of course, he's like all interested,
Right. But I think personally, and you know this too, there wasn't as much stress in our life growing up, I feel like, as there is today. We didn't have social media to have to worry about. We didn't have kids on social media to worry about that. We also, we didn't have as many shows to watch on the television. So we went to bed at normal hours, kind of. I get it. We also ate maybe a little healthier, depending on where we grew up.
Like metabolic thing that's going on right now. Like all of us are diabetic.
Yeah, we're all
insulin resistant. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I have PCOS. I've been on birth control pills since I was 14.
Yeah.
And my markers have always been borderline insulin resistant. And finally my doctor was like, Sarah, just take the metformin. Like, cause I was fighting it. And I took it for a few months. I'm still on it. And my numbers came down.
Okay.
But I'm
That's
like,
good.
Is that fake?
Yeah.
Is that?
No, it isn't. Metformin, I mean, is being talked about. Like,
I know.
All the aging.
I know. And I'm like, well, now I'm reverse aging myself. And it only cost me $8 a month.
Thank God, because Ozempic's a lot more expensive, girl. But no, it's like, Tony Robbins wrote a book about anti-aging.
And David Sinclair.
Peter Tia, and like all of them are talking about metformin. And even doctors are very pro metformin. But I do like to work with my clients on lowering their blood sugar naturally. And you're right. Every single client has a too high blood sugar and they are a bit insulin resistant. And I'm shocked, at what's going on here. But we are just eating too much sugar. We are drinking too much alcohol, unless you're someone who is.
I don't drink alcohol. That's the funniest thing.
Right. But there's.
But maybe I eat enough gummy bears to come.
Exactly. But I'm like, there's some great supplements out there these days. Acromancia, berberine,
I take
Metabolic
Acromancia.
Daily. They're lowering like blood sugar like crazy. Also insulin. We have a cleanse that's called the gut cleanse. And what has been tested is lowering bacteria loads in the gut to help reverse insulin resistance.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy. So they're on 5 days of activated charcoal and then rebuilding their gut, and their insulin gets back to a normal level. It's wild.
But then when they come off that cleanse, what's the maintenance of that?
So they really just have to try to eat as healthy as possible. Like they can go back and do the activated charcoal.
More keto-ish diet?
No.
Then?
Not really. No, they can eat just normal. And they might want to revisit the activated charcoal like 3 months down the road, 6 months down the road. Sometimes we kind of have to keep working on ourselves to figure out like how to keep our sugar good, how to keep our pathogen loads low. Like sometimes we just or our hormones balanced, I mean, like you said it earlier, I can like go for years and be great with my Hashimoto's because I have that. And then all of a sudden I get COVID and my antibodies go through the roof, or I break up with my fiance and my antibodies go through the roof, so there is shit that goes on in our life that we've got to revisit and like figure out, okay, now I got to get myself back together. And also we're not going to be good and 100% perfect all the time.
No.
You don't preach that, right?
No, my preach is like good enough, like one step up from good enough.
Right.
It's like, if you can't do something that day, it is what it is.
It is. Don't beat yourself up for it.
You can't. You can't.
You absolutely have to live your life and not take this stuff so seriously. When you take it seriously, that's when things get out of control.
You could be doing this shit all day long, Elissa.
I know.
Like you could wake up in the morning, do Andrew Huberman, stare into the sunlight, be intermittent fasting, then juice, then work out, then sauna, then cold plunge. I mean, like, do people have jobs? Like, I don't.
Some don't.
No,
Some
but I'm
don't.
saying, like, you literally could be doing this all day long and sideways.
But that's someone who's really obsessed with it, And maybe like they do it for a week and they feel better and they're doing it for, a goal. But I don't believe in that.
But do you feel like you help your clients find the few things that work for them?
Yeah.
Because that's
happy
sort of,
medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, like I really get into their psyche. Like I find out, are they going to juice? Are they going to do a cold plunge? Are they going to wake up and
I asked my
look
husband,
into
I
the
was like, should we
sunlight?
get a cold plunge? He goes, Sarah, jump in the fucking pool. The heat's not on. And
Right,
I'm
our
like,
cold-
I'm
our
not
pool
doing
too.
that. Yeah.
Right. I know. It's cold. I know. I don't really love the cold plunge because I'm always cold anyway.
Yeah.
but
No.
I know.
And I can't do the sauna because I have melasma.
Oh.
So I
wow.
haven't been
Yeah.
able to find an alternative to
that. Right.
because I can't heat up my inner.
Yeah. So you can't do hot
when
yoga.
No.
Yeah. No, I think there like we said earlier, it's gotten out of control, the whole health, and what's out there and what's offered. And we need to figure out, what few things will work for us. I mean, like I said, hydration is simple and so, so crucial, and making sure we're going to the bathroom a few times a day. Is also really crucial because it's going to make you feel lighter.
Yeah.
And it also is going to detox all the shit out of your system. Literally.
Literally.
Like cholesterol and all the viral and
Extra
bacteria-
estrogen.
And extra estrogen, right. All of that, like for the menopause. I mean, it really is important. It's going to make you feel lighter. It's going to help with weight loss. So that's important. And then maybe juicing or adding more vegetables into your diet, to get the nutrients at a cellular level. That's also crucial because, both of us will take the 50 million supplements, but we'll absorb 40%.
Yeah,
if we're lucky.
exactly. Because that's the other question I was going to ask you is bioavailability.
Yeah.
Like how much are you really taking in?
It's, it depends on also like your gut and how healthy it is and how you can break down these capsules and these, like the veggie capsules or not veggie capsules that the supplements are in. I like powders and liquids more because of that. But yeah, I think food is where it's at. When you do my cleanse for 5 days, I see miraculous changes in people who eat the food and don't do supplements, like they're better. They're mentally better. They think more clearly. They sleep better. They poop more. They lose weight and they're eating all this food. And they're like, Elissa, I've never eaten this much food. This is crazy.
Did I make this up or did you recently add some animal protein to some of the cleanses?
We will do that for people who want it.
Okay, because
yes.
I
No,
need
you
that.
didn't make
Because
it
like
up.
if you give me soup, I'm like, no, thank you.
I know. Yeah, no, we've been doing that.
I need to
Yeah, you need to eat. Yeah.
Because I can't even eat smooth. Like for me to drink a smoothie with protein powder.
It's not your thing.
It just, I drink it, but then I still want to eat a piece of chicken.
Yeah.
It doesn't process the
I'm
same
the same
for
way.
me.
I like food. I like to eat something and chew something. Yeah, we're giving grass-fed chicken, or we're actually doing wild salmon for clients throughout the week, and we're adding that to the program. And that's been huge.
Are there reheating instructions
mostly
for
men.
people who don't cook?
Yes. It's very easy, super easy. And then we came up with you won't like this at all, but we came up with a 3-day digestive reset, which is all liquids.
Ooh.
And the cool thing about this is that we're emptying out people's gut, their intestines, and their colon. So we don't ever have an empty gut, intestine, colon situation going on. People are going crazy over this cleanse.
I mean, I could look. I've done a colonoscopy.
Okay.
I did panchakarma. Like that 5-day Ayurveda thing.
Yeah, I love panchakarma.
I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I am capable of it. I just mentally fight it because I'm convincing myself that I'm starving.
Right. I know. You have to be in the mood and you have to be in the right place.
Yeah.
My mind frame for all this, but it really is. It's just, it's fun. Like I said, those, the hydration, the juicing, also sleep. We all know.
I mean, sleep's a nightmare.
Important. It is where your body resets and recharges. And we are going to bed too late. We're not getting 8 hours. Us women need 8 to 10 to reset our adrenals. Men can get away with 7.
Oh my God.
I know, it
solving
sucks.
world peace at 2 a.m. I mean,
Right,
yeah.
I know.
And my husband's snoring away.
Right.
And I'm
you're like up
nothing's
worrying.
bothering him. I've solved all my kids' problems.
Right, I know.
I've written 6 podcasts in my head, and he's just,
Right, I know. That's what I feel like is really beneficial for me in terms of, just the anti-aging. So, and it also helps with everything. That's when your liver detoxes. That's when your brain detoxes.
And you have sleep supplements that you recommend.
Yes.
And what are those?
I do. I love the magnesium, and I also love this product called Deep Sleep. There's so many.
I mean,
it's from Genuine Health. Deep Sleep is incredible. I also love, I've been taking this cortisol calm that just kind of,
I need that deeply.
Is beautiful for lowering cholesterol or cortisol because, I'm going all day like you. And I'm like kind of amped up. And like, that's the problem with most of us women. Like, by the time it's time to relax and go to bed, we're still amped.
Oh.
And we're still ready to take, on the day, like you said. And even though we're kind of tired, but we don't tap into it.
Because you kind of get into that like adrenaline, that overtired, I'm just going to keep going thing.
Right.
And then I think we start moving into the adrenal fatigue zone.
Yeah.
And
we got to chill out the adrenals.
I saw you talking about the adrenal fatigue on Instagram and saying that not enough of us know what it is. And what the symptoms of it are.
Right.
And you even gave an example of a woman who thought she was having hot flashes from dipping estrogen, and it was actually like
adrenals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, because, the adrenals are really super crucial. They're where we hold our chi, for our entire life. So, and our adrenals get so taxed, they're small little 2 organs that we are tapping into constantly, and that's where the cortisol and adrenaline are being pumped out of. So even like getting let's say I'm so excited to be here. That's tapping into my adrenals, Like if, we can't just stay zen and chill and calm. That's not my personality. So adrenals are getting taxed like crazy, and we're not really. We're tired. We're brain fog. Yes, we get hot flashes because adrenals are out of whack. There's a lot of things that go haywire. Our thyroid goes haywire first before our adrenals get whacked, and then our thyroid goes haywire. So that's the first thing to get, like taxed. So we're constantly living in a society that's go, go, go. And that is doing a number on our adrenals. So we have to figure out the meditation or just sleep. Those 2 things in itself are huge, for your adrenals. Like we have even 5 minutes in the day, not a lot, 5-10 minutes of meditation to just.
What kind of meditation do you like?
I just do my own, like I go on Unplug, which I love because
So you don't repeat a mantra to yourself for 15 minutes?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Mantra.
See, that's really hard for me.
Yeah, I do.
I like guided. I love David G's
I know. I love
voice.
him. I love him too. I fall asleep to him.
Me too. I mean,
there's so many good people out there
good.
with that, but I do a mantra. Like I'm like, all I need is love. I'm safe.
That's the Louise Hay thing you were talking about.
Totally.
Tell us about that.
I just, a lot of us don't feel safe and loved. And I just, like when I tapped into my own self-love, not in an ego way, but just in a self-preservation way, my whole life changed. And then when I tapped into the safety of my life, am I safe? Like, guys, I never felt safe growing up. So that's a whole other podcast. But so I feel like when I tapped into like, I'm safe. The universe has my back. I know that sounds very woo-woo.
No, but just
for
the
LA.
world's not against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it isn't. And I know that, that's when I relax and everything in my body just chills out. So I think that, just simple things like that can really do wonders for your adrenals and also your hormones and just also your digestive system and everything, to be able to feel loved by yourself, to be able to feel safe in the world, that the world isn't, like you said, against me.
Yeah, and if things happen, most of the time they're figure outable.
Yes.
Not all the time,
Yeah.
but most of the time.
Most of the time.
And that's what I say to my kids too.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those things that have happened in my life that haven't been good have been benefits now. Like, I'm thankful for them because it got me to this place where I'm like, wow, like I was able to get through all of those hard things. And now I know that I can. So as things go on in my life, as I get older, I feel like, okay, I can handle that. But I know as a youngster, it wasn't so easy.
Yeah.
But it's really just kind of tapping into the fact that we are so resilient and we're so fucking strong.
Yeah.
I see stage 4 cancer heal holistically.
That's crazy.
I mean, it is, Sarah, that is crazy.
It's crazy.
Without meds, and I'm a med believer.
Yeah.
I'm not a non-med, but I see when they tap into their psyche and get back into that love and that calmness and where they can allow their body to heal, it's remarkable. And it's with any health issue.
Now, why do you think there's so much cancer right now? I feel like so many people that are so much younger are like getting diagnoses. It just seems, are we just detecting it more, or is it really
Partly,
Yeah.
but I think it is heavy metals cause cancer. Okay.
Where are we getting heavy
Metals? We're getting arsenic from the water. From LA's water is really bad in arsenic, by the way. So at one point I had to double filter my water because my arsenic was a little high. Then chicken and rice are very high in arsenic, are things that are, but people aren't eating. Lundberg tests their rice for arsenic.
Okay.
Just people they're going out, so they're not getting really high end chicken. Also mercury, is fish, we all know that one, but also a lot of my older clients have mercury fillings still, and they're leaking because they had them when they were in their 20s, got their fillings in, and now they're 50, 60. So there's
I don't have any fillings.
Thank God, you're lucky.
My dad's a dentist.
So your teeth have been good the whole time.
But let me say, look, he has fillings. I think I just got genetically blessed up until 49. I'm going to say that and have 9 fillings next week. But I'm thankful that I already have so many other health little things going on in my body. I'm like, I don't need that too. Yeah, no.
But heavy metals are like a little bit of a slow flame, and they cause inflammation, and then they just cause all things to go kind of awry in the body. So then blood sugar, another one. Ozempic is going to help the cancer rates.
Okay, tell us about that, because everyone is so up in arms about Ozempic and all of these things.
I'm not opposed to Ozempic if you have blood sugar issues. Blood sugar, obesity, blood sugar is causing high cancer rates. We know that. So Ozempic is helping those things go down.
But what's the difference between taking Ozempic and like a metformin?
So Ozempic is like, definitely a peptide that actually is going to help your blood sugar go down. Metformin is an anti-inflammatory drug. So it's going to help, but not in the same way as Ozempic. Okay. So Ozempic's been around forever.
Yeah.
We just haven't used it as a weight loss. We did use it as a blood sugar. So, but now I think, people who are massively obese, those are people who are getting cancer too. Also, we talked about stress. We didn't have the stress that we have today, and kids have so much stress and a lot of trauma that they're not dealing with. So I feel like that's a cancer issue. They're just things in our environment, there are like plastics and
mold. The mold thing scares me.
It's so crazy, rampant.
My son was in a dorm last year, and I was like, there is for sure mold in this stinky ass place.
Did you smell it, or just that he wasn't feeling good?
And like the kids were always like coughing and breathing. I mean, they're redoing them now, and they're 10,000 years old. But it's like even in new construction, there's mold.
Right.
And it's like, how do you account for that? And not every house or place you go to and you do like an air mold test is going to show you something. It's a little bit of guesswork.
It is. And my daughter too, she was at college, and the radiator next to her was totally moldy, and she was sick all the time.
Yeah.
And then she moved into a new construction condo in West Hollywood, and it had complete mold. It was brand new. So you're right. It's like, you'll know it. You could smell it.
Are there any filters or anything that you think actually help? Because
Good question. The air doctor has always been a good one, but I think that you've just got to you got to test. I test my house for mold.
did you make her move out of it?
I did. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, because I could, she is very sensitive. So she was getting sick.
What a
So
pain.
I think, mold is a huge problem. And I just think, with hormone meats and bad seed oils from the restaurants, the last few years with COVID, we've been ordering in, right? Or maybe people started cooking, which would be a beautiful thing. But we're ordering in a lot from Postmates, and we're getting crappy chicken and meat and fish. And we're also getting bad seed oils. So there's just a lot of crap out there. We just we're onslaughted with toxins.
I know.
And Europe doesn't have the same, non-restrictions. They're restrictive. We just are open book to whatever.
Yeah.
Here, mold and coffee. Right.
I know. Let's talk about that for a second. I only have 1 cup of coffee a day. Okay. But I don't know. When I read about the mold, I'm like, maybe my pot isn't so great.
I know we do drink a lot of coffee. 1 cup of coffee isn't the biggest deal, but people are drinking.
But is that
multiple
moldy?
cups.
And is that too much mold?
It depends on the coffee beans. I just did a thing on which coffee beans were clean and which ones weren't.
But I don't want to have to do the coffee beans. Is there a pod?
There's
not
yes,
moldy?
yeah, they're organic. Just get an organic one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
They probably won't be hazelnut flavored. But
it's probably true. That might be a little tricky to get organic.
And then I'll add
hazelnut.
17 other things to it just to shit it
I
up
know,
a little
I know,
bit.
I know. That's what I mean. It's hard. We got to just figure out, what works for us. Because you're right. There's a lot out there. Soy got a bad rap.
Oh my God.
The bad seed oils get a bad rap. The hormone meats get a bad rap. I mean, it's just nuts.
Never ending.
Yeah. And for thyroid issues, we couldn't eat any cruciferous vegetables, and that was all bogus.
Okay, wait. This is totally random. I just got an ANA marker for autoimmune.
Okay, yeah.
What am I doing with that?
So was it high?
I don't know. He just said you have a marker for it
Okay.
now, which I didn't have before.
Right.
Now I'm like, does that mean I'm getting an autoimmune disease tomorrow?
So basically, yes, ANA is an
great.
autoimmune, but I wouldn't worry about it because there's so much you can do for autoimmune issues. Absolutely incredible stuff. The Amra that's all over Instagram.
Yeah, the colostrum.
The
I have it.
colostrum.
I just don't take it.
Yeah,
It's in my kitchen though.
Right. Taking that can help with ANA markers. It's been incredible.
Okay.
It's so good for the gut. Just really again, it's a gut thing. It's also an immune thing. So upping your vitamin D and making sure your
My
vitamin D
vitamin D
levels.
is too high.
Oh, so okay. So then that's interesting that they, it's also stress related, all of that. And we've had some COVID stuff happen in the last few years. And we also have long-term COVID, and that's causing ANA markers to go up. Heavy metals can cause ANA markers.
My mercury is not high, but I don't know if it
About the
tested.
other ones,
I don't
lead,
know if it
arsenic.
tests for the other ones.
Right.
That might be too woo-woo on the
For them,
side for
right.
them. I'm not sure.
There's so much to do for,
But I do think it comes to this other interesting topic, which bugs me to no end, of blood work. Normal range.
Right.
Normal range versus optimal.
Right.
Oh my God.
I know.
Can we talk about that for a second? It's so annoying.
It is annoying. I know because,
Does that mean you're half dead? You're only, what is that?
half of the clients, I would not say half. I would say 3/4 of the clients come and they give me their blood work and it's not thorough. And they're like, hey, everything's great. I'm in normal range. So I don't look at it like that. I look at optimal. I was trained recently in optimal ranges. So, they don't feel so good. That's why they're coming to me. And I'm like, this isn't optimal. This isn't optimal. I feel like we need to, that normal range was, I don't know when it was.
I know it's like the
put
basement.
together.
Yeah.
It's
like the food
50
pyramid.
years ago or 60 years. Right. Right. It was so long ago. Why haven't we updated to optimal? I mean, we've got to get to, we want to be optimal everywhere we are. optimal food, optimal hydration, optimal sleep, optimal blood ranges. It's not that hard. So when you look in the optimal ranges, and I can help people get exactly where they need to be, it also, Sarah, doesn't take very long to get them to an optimal place.
That's so crazy. Yeah. Now, the optimal range for vitamin D, for example.
Yes.
What is that?
I would say it's 60 to 80.
Okay, mine was like over 100.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Wow. Were you taking vitamin D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think that's worrisome, though.
I know. But I was like, okay, I could lower my amount a little bit. Whereas my husband's was like, I'm making this up, but it was like 30. Right. And the doctor's like, okay, that's normal range, but not optimal.
Right. Right, exactly. You have to be over 50 to have like really good cognitive function. I will say that. And everybody under 50 doesn't really have good cognitive function. And vitamin D these days, there's a vitamin D cell receptor in every cell in your body. So it's important for cholesterol. It's important for gut health. It's important for cognitive function. It's important for immunity. It's important for so many things.
Mm-hmm. And you have to have it with K, right? With vitamin.
You don't always.
Really?
Yeah, because sometimes people are on blood thinners, and K is a blood thinner, so they can't take K.
Oh,
so, but I think K is beautiful if you can, because K helps the D go into the bones. So that's another thing with HRT and vitamin D and K, and we could go into all of that with menopause, but it's really helped my bone loss, Like at 64, I don't have osteoporosis. I don't have osteopenia.
But you also do so many things.
I don't really. One of my worst things, I will tell you, is exercise.
Okay.
I do everything else.
Well, because you're naturally so teeny tiny and look fit and tan that you're like, I can just fucking get away with this.
I think I can, but I'm not going to be able to. Like my arms feel a little flabby, and I don't feel as strong.
Yeah.
So I need to get into that.
Yeah.
So I don't do it all
dumb
right.
weights, brutal.
I got to do the weights.
So hard. So hard. Okay, what about Pronovo?
I love
What are your
it.
thoughts on that?
I love it. Okay. I absolutely.
Tell everyone what it is.
Because it's a scan.
I mean, it's an expensive, crazy thing.
Yes.
That is very out there.
Yeah.
But tell me why you like it.
Have you done it?
I haven't.
Okay.
I mean, it's been on my list for a year.
Yeah. Right.
But I'm sort of like, am I going to open a rabbit hole of like every little thing that's wrong with me?
I know it is. It can be, if you're someone who is a hypochondriac, I would not do it.
I'm not a hypochondriac, but I am a solution finder. Okay. So if I find something,
then you'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you know, I've had, you might not know, I've had a good friend, Maria Menounos, is a friend of mine who, found out she had pancreatic cancer from the Prenuvo. There was a woman who was a broadcaster up in San Francisco who ended up finding out that she had an aneurysm as she's on the table of the Prenuvo. I mean, these things have saved their life. We hear of many other stories.
Body scan.
Full body
I'm
scan.
Making this up. Is it $3,000?
With no radiation. It's probably about $2,500.
Okay.
So I think it's going to go down in price as more and more become available across the country. But yeah. It's, if you do it through me, I think it's $2,000. You can get a discount.
And what's the wait list for that?
It seems very high at the moment, which is kind of a bummer. But I think they always have cancellations. I loved doing it to just see. You could see if there's microscopic cancer cells in your body.
Did you find anything weird?
No. There was, some things in my liver that I always knew, but they were like, they're not things that are harmful. We'll just watch them.
So how often will you do it now?
I'd probably do it every few years. I would do it. If I had something, that if I had a cancer case, I'd probably do it every year.
Yeah.
Or something that was going on with me, but probably every few years I would do it.
And then what about, I don't know if you pronounce it Gallery or Gallery, the blood test? Do you know?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Test for 100 cancers.
Right. I do love that too. I think all of that is, if you're someone who wants to find out things, I think it's important,
Yeah, I thought the blood test thing was interesting. When I went to the OB, she was like, "Oh, do you want to do that? It tests for 100 cancers." And I thought, "Oh my God."
I know.
But that's really expensive too.
I know. So that when you're young, you only have to do it every, I would say, 5 years or whatever. But as we get older, I think it's kind of, if you can afford it, it's an important thing and if you're worried about it. If you're not worried about it, then why do it?
I don't know,
Right?
to not be worried about it and you live in a world like this is a little bit cuckoo and a little fairyland, but
Right.
whatever.
I know.
Now, I have to ask you these questions because there are so many celebrities, so many people who are taking peptides, not just the semaglutide
Yeah.
peptide, but peptide. But what
No,
are your
but
thoughts
NAD
on this kind of zone of anti-aging injections that aren't necessarily FDA approved,
Yeah.
but seem to
Yeah.
be working on people?
I know. I kind of love them
Okay.
because I do some of them myself.
Okay. Which ones do you like?
I love BPC 157. It's great for gut health and having the Hashimoto's. It's been a lifesaver.
And is that
It's
an
a
injection?
peptide. It's an injection, or you could take a pill, but the injection works better. Also, if you have muscle fatigue or muscle soreness, BPC 157 is
Oh, I
great for
need
that.
that.
Great for that.
Oh, cool.
I would say that I love NAD. I've kind of been addicted
Yeah,
for
I've
years.
heard from a lot of people.
Yeah, I do an injection of NAD every day.
Wow,
I
how
think-
many milligrams?
I don't know what it is.
That's probably why you fucking glow.
That is why. It's 50 ml. I don't know what the
Is
milligram.
there a vagina NAD?
I would love to have one for that because it is crazy amazing. And I've been doing it for probably 2 years at least, or 2.5 years when I got COVID.
How many milligrams?
I
did you
don't
say?
know what the milligrams is because it's a ml shot.
Oh,
so I don't
got
know
it.
what it
Okay.
equates to, but my assistant goes a little crazy when she has to go pick it up because I go through it so much, and it is expensive too.
And
you know,
is that like a compounding pharmacy?
it's at a you can get it at something like that, but it's people who have the peptides who know how to work with them. You know, like I do. Ozone is another.
Yeah.
It's not a peptide, but it's a great thing. You know, if you have an illness to get past. And I had COVID, and I did ozone, and then the guy who did my ozone said, "Hey, you should try this NAD injections," and it just kind of changed my life.
I've
It does.
heard
It makes
that.
it your energy. It's cellular energy, you know? So, and
I
there's,
told my husband I wanted to do it, and he's like, "Are you sure?" But you know that as soon as I do it, he's doing it 5 minutes after me. It's
exactly.
like a joke.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, my parents, like when they were younger, they were way ahead of their league in terms of like health. My mom was, and actually they used to go to a place in Panama and get exosome shots, like unborn lamb cell shots. This is how crazy. I mean, this is so many years ago. And now there are, you know, those shots that are available.
Oh,
but
I've
they're-
done them in my hair.
Right.
Do I think it's growing my hair? No. I probably have to like stick with it, but
Right.
it was so expensive. I was
Right,
like,
they
I
are.
can't do this once a month. This is like
know.
insanity.
It is insanity. That stuff is insane. You know, that is insanity. I mean, we do know that like that's like that other whole other league of health and wellness. But they're getting unborn, you know, cells from an umbilical cord, and yeah, they're shooting them into athletes, and you know, that's why a lot of these guys are being able to play basketball,
Right.
You know, in their older age. I mean, and my parents came back from this Panama trip, and they were superhuman. Like and I was like,
and that's so long ago.
it was so these things kind of peptides have been around forever. You know, all these things have been around. We just are now kind of venturing into them because we've gotten into the anti-aging protocols.
And
More
what's the
people
other
have.
one that's like slightly maybe more controversial? The IGF?
Yeah.
What
the
is that?
human growth hormone
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, I don't do that because I'm a little bit afraid of that for cancer. You know, like, I don't know. I just have read some studies that, you know, that could be a precursor. That's just, you know, something I kind of am not comfortable with at the moment.
So basically, you're comfortable with the NAD,
I am comfortable with
the
NAD.
B, whatever that thing was.
Yeah.
What is it?
Wait.
BC.
BPC 157. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And then what else?
I mean, I am.
Ozone-ish.
I love ozone. I am comfortable with, you know, the Ozempic if you need it. I mean, it has been changing some clients' lives. You know, if they could go back to trying to figure out how to eat
But are they
healthy.
microdosing it?
Yeah, they're
I
microdosing.
see.
They're not heavy doses. Yeah. So whatever works for somebody, I'm comfortable with. So if it makes them feel good and it gets them to the end game, and I'm as you know, I'm very comfortable with HRT. I still have clients that don't go on HRT because they're not comfortable because of the old studies.
Now, do you obviously you do it?
Yes,
And do you do the bioidentical?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been doing it for 18 years. I'm on the same dosage.
That's so funny.
I started 18 years ago.
So what do you take for in the female zone?
Yeah, I take estradiol, progesterone, and testosterone. Take all three.
And do you do testosterone on your labia, your inner thigh, or sublingual?
I would do thigh, but a lot of times I just do them on my forearm. So I do my estradiol forearm, and I take my progesterone at night. It helps me sleep, helps with anxiety, as you know. So I just think they're miraculous. And I also think that I love the suppositories these days too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I use Imbexi, the vaginal.
Yeah, the vaginal.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic. Or some people love the patches. Those are a little expensive, but I do, the idea that you don't have to do it every day is wonderful.
You mean the HRT patch?
Patches.
Yeah, I haven't done. Because, like I said, I'm the bad one who's still on birth control pills. But this year is the year where everything
You're
changes.
changing all that. Yeah. You're going to.
I know.
You have access to it all.
So hard.
I know. It's not hard. That's what you have to
I feel
say
like
to
all my
yourself.
hair
It's
is going to
not
fall out
hard.
and I'm going to be more of a lunatic than I already am. And everyone's going to be crazy.
I've only gotten a few more chin hairs that I constantly have to pluck. No, and also there's a great little razor that you just do in the car.
I'm sure I'm going to get them because I've been taking oral minoxidil.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a full fucking beard soon, I'm sure.
That's the thing I don't love. I don't love the hair growth.
Oh my God.
In that regard.
Crazy. Okay, a few other things that I have to ask. The Aura Ring. I feel like if I wore an Aura Ring, I would become psychotic and I'd be like, okay, that night was a fucked up night of sleep and now I'm going to be a lunatic the rest of the day.
Right.
How do you wear the Aura Ring and not become a crazy person?
That's a really good question too. Because I did become a crazy person.
Oh, cool.
And I stopped wearing it.
Okay.
I wore it for 3 years.
Oh my God.
I might go back to it because now my sleep is great because my sleep was a little fucked up.
Okay.
But it was crazy making. Yeah. Because I thought I got a good night's sleep and then I'd look at it and I got a 67.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My son wears a Whoop and I'm like, why do you even want to know that information? I already know that I'm a basket case.
Yeah. I just feel I loved it for the walking. That was it. I didn't love it for the sleep, but maybe now
Get a
since
Fitbit or something. You know what I mean?
I'll do that.
You need the
I
old
stopped wearing
school.
it.
My friend wears this little one that's sits on her bra. I don't know. The Aura Rings. I mean, I think it's an amazing product.
It is an amazing product.
If you're not a crazy person.
Yeah. It's great for heart rate variability too.
Yeah.
'Cause, that was mine were always too low because I was just always too anxious. And it taught me to, de-stress a little, but it's too much. Like you said, it's too much information sometimes for people. Yeah. It's the Apollo. Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
just
the stress.
At one point I was wearing the Apollo, the Aura Ring, and I was wearing the blood glucose monitor.
My God, that must have been a hot look. That's like when my husband comes in, he has Rogaine dripping down his forehead. He has his retainer, and I'm like, that's a hot look. Get the fuck out of here. And then he's like, oh, you look great with your shiny retinol, and I put bag balm under my eyes. He's like, you look like a Vaseline ball. I mean, it's just not cute. None of it's cute.
Right.
But we all have to do our shit to hold our shit together.
Exactly. Exactly. I know. There's definitely things that, the same, I do the under eye patches and actually the silicone,
I just need duct tape. That's what I need. Just a nice roll of duct
going to
tape.
bed with that.
Oh my God. My husband would not be surprised. He's like, there's so many things that you do that are so weird. And I'm like, oh my God.
I know. But you're right. All of those devices can be a little crazy making, and I do love the devices. I love the people who started them. I know them.
Yeah.
And I just love, what they're doing for some people.
Well, it's the same reason I don't weigh myself.
Yeah.
And I never have.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should have while I was
either.
pregnant because it was not a cute look. But because I don't want to be in that zone of 2 pounds up, 2 pounds down, water weight. It's just crazy making for me.
I don't think it's good for you.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've covered 40,000 things. I have 40,000 more. I'm going to bite my tongue and stop talking. But if you have one piece of advice for midlife women who are craving feeling optimal, what would it be?
That's such hard one
I
piece of
know.
advice, girl. I would just say that one piece of advice is that you have to start honoring and loving yourself and realize that you will find the answers that you need to feel optimal and thriving and great. So if you start to care about you and put yourself first, which I know is hard for us women. It's not in a selfish, way, but we've got to take care of ourselves, and we've got to show our family and our kids that we're important. And again, not in an ego way, but just in that we want to feel good and vibrant. And that passes down the line to our husband and our kids and our friends. Right? People want to be around us.
Yeah, it's
when
like
we
midlife
feel...
self-obsession is approved
Yeah.
because, and it's not even selfish.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
yes, it goes back to the oxygen mask thing, but if you don't put yourself first, nobody's coming to do my blood work and manage my shit except for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I might be managing my husband's, but
Right.
that's just because he doesn't have a choice.
Right.
But I'm saying for me and for my kids, no one's going to knock on my door and be like, Sarah, let's test your mercury levels. This doesn't work like that.
No.
So it's on
Our own
you
advocate.
to listen to podcasts like these, to read books, to get information and self-advocate.
Totally.
And,
Totally. That means you believe in you.
yeah.
You feel...
And normal range is not optimal.
Nope.
That's
Exactly.
it, right?
Right.
And we're
Drink
going,
some water and
we're
have a
going
juice.
for optimal to look like you at 64. Holy fuck.
Yes.
Before we wrap up, where can everyone find you? Your cleanses, your blood work bundles. I mean, you're like
Thanks.
one stop, full stop, all of it.
They can find me online, ElissaGoodman.com.
Elissa with an E.
You got it. Yes. And Instagram, also the same. Blood work bundle is online and Instagram. Yeah. And I do the cleanses in LA, and I ship out bars and granola.
The
across
bars
the
are
country.
so good.
yeah.
So
I brought you
good.
some. And then we just came up with 3 incredible bone broths. A
Oh, I
mood
need
one,
that.
an anti-inflammatory one, and an immune boosting one. And we're going to ship those out across the country in the fall.
Can you freeze bone broth?
Yes, absolutely. That's why we can ship them.
Wow.
Yeah. So excited about that.
And the bone broth thing is because it has glycine.
it has all the amino acids. It also helps heal the gut. It gives you some protein, gives you collagen, real collagen, not the collagen that you're getting out there from the
Yeah,
powders.
yeah.
It's giving you real collagen.
And how much do you have to drink a day to kind of see movement?
You could 4 ounces, even 6 ounces. So you don't have to drink a full 8 ounces.
Okay, you notice I'm always trying to find the easy way to do it. Okay, so I'll be coming to
little
your
bit each
house for
day.
some bone broth, some bars, some NAD injections. I mean, maybe the colonics I'll save for another week.
That's good, because
oh
I don't
my
want
god,
to be doing that on you.
Oh my god, crazy! I've loved having you.
It was so fun.
So fun.
Always.
We got to get this together. I'm sure you'll be back several more times because I didn't finish my whole list here, Elissa. Women have
That
questions.
is a beautiful thing.
No, I
that
know.
You didn't finish your full list.
Oh my God.
I'm
we have so
honored
much
because there's so much to talk
so much,
about. I
so
know.
much, so much. Love
It's
you.
such- I
Thanks
love
for
you
coming.
too. And I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
And what you've done and
That's
what
so
you've created.
sweet.
It's
Thank
just
you.
it's beautiful.
Thank you. I
So-
so appreciate that. And I feel the same thing about you
Thank
because
you.
you are helping so many men and women, but especially women, figure their stuff out. It's not always easy.
No, it isn't.
Thank you.
You.
I think there's some crazy statistic that 75% is not gene based. It's lifestyle based. So
Can we talk about the anti-inflammatory eating?
Yeah,
and all
we're gonna
stuff?
do that
that's the
right
biggest-
now.
That's the biggest thing, and that's part of the reason why I started. I mean, I started for other reasons, but it's really changed everything in my life by eating this way. And